Don't you just love dinosaurs? I mean, like, look at these, man. Look at these geezers. What is good, YouTube? My name is Ash Porter and welcome back to the channel. This week's non-fiction book vlog is this bad boy. The Rise and Fall of the Dinosaurs, A New History of Their Lost World by Steve Brusatte? Brusatte? I think it's Brusatte. I'm really sorry if that name has been butchered, but you know me, I can't do names. But I'm well excited, you know. I've been reading some history recently. I've been reading a lot of like the classic stuff like The Happiness Advantage and other sort of leadership-based books, self-help type books. What else have I been reading? I can't remember what else I've been reading. I read Sapiens, A History of Humankind, so some quite heavy stuff, right? And I was like, you know what? For my non-fiction reading, I need to take a bit of a break. I need something new, fresh, exciting, something I don't know a lot about. And so this has been on my Goodreads to read list for a while, and I am well excited, right? I like dinosaurs. I am not by any means a dinosaur enthusiast or expert. Like I say, yes, I love dinosaurs. I do, but I don't really know that much, and so I'm really excited to read this book. I'm really excited to dive into it. I can just tell this is going to be a good book because even just looking here, I don't know if this will focus, but the T-Rex here, right? It has like fur or feathers and stuff. I think it's fur, but even little details like that, it's going to be a good read. It's going to be a modern take on dinosaurs. I don't know when this was published. I'm so excited to start this. You gotta love a Saturday morning reading about dinosaurs. And so the first thing I need to say about this book is this is definitely I'm not out of my depth, but this is a new subject to me. And so I know that I'm not going to take in the same amount from this book that I would do books where I'm more experienced in, I know a bit more what's going on. So there's so much in this book that I know is going straight over my head. But the thing from today really is to point out that about 252 million years ago, right? Like, I still don't really get how they work this out. They somehow study the rocks, the fossils, all this kind of stuff. But basically, the planet just started spewing lava everywhere, especially around, I think the center of it. Well, he talks a lot about Poland, but it's not just Poland, just mass Siberian land masses, just lava everywhere, right? And I think over the course of 2 million years, it killed off 90% of the species on Earth. And then slowly over the next few million years, the planet started to recover, start to go back to normal a little bit. It was only really like small reptiles and amphibians that survived this period, and then they started growing and developing and evolving slowly into the dinosaurs. And so these periods, I think that period where all the volcanoes is like the Permian period, and then as it changes into the Triassic, I think is the first period of dinosaurs. Madness. What I really love about this book so far is that it's full of fact, it's full of really story driven telling of the dinosaurs of the Triassic period into the Jurassic period, but also it's full of story of real life paleontologists and dinosaur lovers, and it's really inspiring. Their stories make you want to go out and just start digging for dinosaurs. I don't think I will, but I love that because it makes it really gripping. But right now we've just gone from the sort of Triassic, that's right, isn't it? Triassic period. It's the continent of Pangaea has started splitting apart, lava has started pouring out and basically decimated most of the other animals except the dinosaurs. They don't know why, they don't know how, but somehow in this crazy time, the dinosaurs survived and thrived and evolved and changed, and we move into the Jurassic period where they dominated. So this morning was just a great read because once again, I was just absolutely immersed in the world of the Jurassic period, but then also the world of paleontology and these different dig sites and stuff. And I think one of the crazy things to find out today is the Sauropods. So that's what's being covered a lot at the moment. So imagine the guys with massive long necks, the family of, there's loads of different species, but the family are called Sauropods, and they were giants, 50 feet, like 20 to 40 tons in weight, like a different speed. It's just mad. Anyway, they tried to work out how they survive. How could they grow so big? How could evolution create something that's bigger than most, like bigger, some of them bigger than whales, like that lived on the land in this concept? And they were saying that they basically have the lungs or like the respiratory system like birds that's very different to mammals and humans, and so their like respiratory system is the same as modern birds. Like, I'm not sure that they are linked to birds. I know other dinosaurs are, but I found just that so interesting. Don't totally get how it works, but I just thought that was a bizarre fact. But I just love it. Honestly, this book is so immersive. I feel like what I've been reading today is all about where the heck did T-Rexes come from? Where did they originate from? The Tyrannosaurus like family species tree, like what happened to it? But it's a massive advocate for patience, man, because 145 million ago, in the middle of the Jurassic, that's right, the Jurassic period, these guys were like tiny little things that didn't do a lot. Like, it's their ancestors. They were small. They like lived underneath at the bottom of the food chain, while Allosauruses and whatever dominated. These guys were small. They didn't do a lot. They weren't apex predators. But wait, 100 million years, these guys are now at the top of the food chain, specifically in North America and Asia, dominant, untouchable. So it's a story of patience pays off. Also read about the discovery of feathers, which I remember that being in the news. It was such a breaking thing that dinosaurs were probably feathered. T-Rexes probably had feathers. Well, because it kind of makes sense when we know genetically that birds, like their ancestors were their ancestors. Dinosaurs were birds' ancestors, whatever, you know what I mean. But the fact that they discovered it, and they think that most dinosaurs were probably feathered in some way, just for warmth, for, looks, attraction, scariness, whatever it is, madness. So today, guys, is all about your boys, T-Rexes, the most famous dinosaur ever to live. And just kind of, I think that, it was meant to be like a biography of T-Rexes. And I think it's just a lot of myth busting. So things like, let's look at Jurassic Park 1. He was saying how when they were fully grown, T-Rexes would never have been able to run that fast. They probably ran between 10 to 20 miles per hour, maybe a little bit faster than that. But once a car, like a Jeep, was up and running, they would never have been able to keep up. But also the whole sight thing, how they're like, stay still and it won't see you. That is a myth. They had vision like ours. They could see depth. They could see, and they would absolutely roast people. But there's some other stuff is that the other two interesting things are, one, that they were probably pack animals, just like we knew about like raptors and other types, like similar predators. T-Rexes, scarily, probably hunted in packs. Now, how awful would that be to see like 4 or 5 of them, like, ugh. But also that they were probably as smart as chimps. So like relatively, not as smart as dolphins and not as smart as us, but as far as animals go, they were pretty clever. And so overall, the fact that they were just savage beasts that could bite through cars, they hunted in packs, they were ginormous, and they were clever. That's terrifying. No wonder they were literally the king of the dinosaurs. So I covered quite a lot of ground today in this journey into the rise and fall of the dinosaurs. And I think the key thing that I learned today, or the key thing that really stood out, is how, just like in our modern world, all over the world, there's different ecosystems and different animals and species. It's not like the same animals live everywhere, right? And it's exactly the same with the dinosaurs and the Cretaceous period and the end of it, and I mean through all of the different periods, but especially that, and how he's saying how the world the map looks similar, but also sea levels are way higher. So although North America and Asia had big land masses, South America was a lot not as big as it is now. Europe was lots of different islands underwater, all that kind of stuff, and so it had really different ecosystems all over the world. But particularly interesting was this find in Transylvania of almost like miniature dinosaurs, where they think that just like in our modern ecosystems, islands can have their own subcultures and species and genetic pools because those animals are just stuck on those islands, and that was exactly the same in the dinosaur period. And so big animals wouldn't survive on these islands, which means there was ecosystems of miniature dinosaurs, which is pretty cool. Wow. Wow, I can't do justice to what I've just read. Steve Brusatte, however you say his name, sorry Steve, just told the most incredible story of what happened when the asteroid, comet, whatever, hit the Earth and basically destroyed most of life on Earth, killing off the dinosaurs. Like it was just incredible the way he told the story. It's just mind-boggling and horrifying. Like absolutely horrifying to hear about what would happen if this, 6-mile long asteroid hit the Earth, how it affected basically the whole planet. It's just like mad, absolutely mad. I cannot describe it, but it's literally worth getting this book just to read that little story because, wow, I'm in shock. I'm in absolute shock. So there we go. I've just finished reading The Rise and Fall of the Dinosaurs. What a book, man. This morning I was just reading about how they kind of worked out how they first discovered this theory of the asteroid and how it's basically, geologists are amazing, man. Like paleontologists, geologists, all these guys, I just don't know how they do it, but they found this layer of clay that was in between Cretaceous limestone and then the next layer of rock from the next period, and they just found basically that it had this stuff called iridium on it, which is pretty much space dust, but it had so much of it. Apparently the stuff falls slowly from the sky, and you'll find small traces here and there in the different layers, and that's normal. But they just found when they studied it in labs, layers and layers and layers, and they were something has to have fallen from space. And then they started proposing the theory in the 80s, and then a few months later or years later, they found the hole, the hole, whatever it's called, in Mexico, where this 6-mile long asteroid would have fallen. Absolutely crazy. But he also ends the book with really great challenge about, the dinosaurs. They were the top dogs. They dominated. They were confident. They weren't already dying out. They were, at the top of them. They're the top of the world basically. And then suddenly something wiped them out. They couldn't control it, they couldn't stop it, and he just posed the challenge of everything that we're doing. Are we too comfy? Big challenge. I love that. I feel like these scientists all do this. Have that constant challenge for right now. I love it. There we have it. The Rise and Fall of the Dinosaurs, A New History of Their Lost World by Steve Brusatte. I think that's how you say his name. Sorry, Steve. But what a book. Sometimes, like I said at the start of this video, you have to mix up what you're reading. You have to step out into places that you don't know as well. And it can be really fun because this was such a fun read. And what I think I loved about this book is, it's, a new history of their lost world. But actually what this is this is a story. This is a story that geologists and especially even more so paleontologists have told and crafted together to help us understand history, the history of our planet, the history of these incredible creatures that once roamed and dominated this earth. And this is a story, it's a beautiful story. It's although it's informative, it's academic, it's got stuff that I don't understand fully, but lots of stuff that I did understand in it. It is a story. It's crafted beautifully. It's immersive. There were times where I was just completely lost imagining this world or what was once our world, But equally, it's full of inspiring stories of other paleontologists, dinosaur lovers, people who have gone to the ends of the earth digging, trying to find fossils to complete and continue this story. And Steve's just done an incredible job of compiling that together. It just leaves me in awe of these people. It leaves me in awe of this planet, of what has happened. And oh yeah, honestly, I just rate this book so highly. If you're looking for a really fun read, a really fun, different read and learning all about dinosaurs, this is well worth your time. If you have enjoyed this video, please consider dropping a like, subscribing to the channel, maybe even sharing with your friends. I've been Ash Porter. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.